Hey, what is up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher, and today we're doing a battle of the diffusion, so let's get into it. Diffusion is one of the easiest ways to control your light, one of the easiest ways to modify your light, and it really does look amazing, especially when you have it on a subject, so on someone's face. It really softens those shadows and makes their face just look nicer in general. It also smooths out facial features and blemishes, things like that. But one of the biggest things about diffusion is that there's a lot of different options out there and at a lot of different cost and, price points. So I had a couple of those umbrellas that you kind of get at like your local photo shop, and I wanted to put those up against some higher end or like more expensive types of diffusion and sort of see how they all stack up. So I used my 300D for all of the tests at 100% brightness, and what I did was I used it open face, so that's literally just open face, no cone or anything on it. So I used my Glow Parapop, which is an octagon, that is a really nice softbox. Now that guy runs about $150 just itself. I use an umbrella. Now mine is a ProMaster, but you can also use any umbrella. They're pretty much the same. I checked on Amazon, they're like 13 bucks, so I mean they're super cheap. I also used some 2x3 silks that I had from Impact. Impact was nice enough to send these over a while back to check it out. I really do love this flag kit. So this has other things in it, so the entire kit is $228, but again, you're getting a few different things. But anyway, so let's kind of jump into these tests and sort of see what they look like. So right off the bat, you can see that the open face light is very harsh. It is very bright. Of course, you're getting that full brightness of the light because it is not modified. It is not stopped down at all. It is just the light blasting you. It looks like crap, so. Next up, we have the Glow Parapop. Now, one of the things that really jumped out to me when I saw this initially is, although it is softer, it's not a ton softer. This is still a nice soft source. The Glow Parapop is kind of directional, so it still keeps a nice contrast. We're going to talk about this later in the comparisons, but this is something to keep in mind when you are using this. A softbox is basically covered on all edges, so it can only push forward and then spread out from there. So you are going to have a little bit different type of softness. So next up is the umbrella, and you can tell that it's a little bit softer, but more than that, because again there is no perimeter, I guess, or nothing surrounding the edges, you can see that it really spills. You can see in the background has a little less contrast on my face, but I think this actually holds up really well. And if you did want to add some more of that contrast back in, you could always add a black solid on the other side to sort of add a little bit more contrast back in, but I mean that's pretty soft and it looks really nice. So next up we have the full or one-stop silk. Now this thing was super soft, and you can really tell how far that spreads out. Again, it looks really, really nice, and to be honest with you, I think this might be my favorite one out of all of them. I placed the silk about 1.5 feet away from the open face light, similar to how the actual softbox would be. I just really enjoy the look of this. I think it has a very nice look to it. It is very, very soft. If I were to be doing a really like corporate or high-key type of interview, something that's less dramatic and more, pleasing to the eye, I definitely think that this would be a perfect way to use that diffusion. Now, it did stop down the light a fair amount. It is a one-stop, so of course you have to compensate for that. But again, depending on how you're doing things, it is a really nice help. So next up we have the half silk, and this guy is, you can definitely tell, a little more contrasty, a little less soft. But again, it's kind of a happy middle ground. So if I was doing something really high key, definitely the Impact Full Silk in my eyes looks the best, with the umbrella honestly coming in second for sure. And if I was going a little more contrasty and I wanted to do something a little more moody, I would probably use the Glow Parapop, which is what I do use quite a bit of the time. So all in all, I was honestly really impressed with all of these, but I was also very impressed with the umbrella. And one of the things to remember about the silk pack is also remember that you're getting several different things in that Impact kit. So not only are you getting a full silk, a half silk, there's a scrim or two, there's 2 scrims, I think, I can't remember exactly, and there's also a black solid. So you're getting a really good deal for that $228. But I mean, when it comes to a budget option, honestly, the umbrella looks really, really good. And again, with a little bit of modification after the fact, you could really have it be maybe a little more directional, almost like you had a grid on there, if you were to use something like black wrap around it, and then maybe a negative fill on the other side. Now, I'm not saying that my Glow Parapop is overrated. I really love that thing. It's really awesome. Of course, it easily attaches to my Bones S-mount with 300D, so I do think that softbox is honestly a great deal, of course, but I am really impressed with this umbrella, and I really think this is a great buy. So if you're someone who needs a big soft source and you want to do that, definitely an umbrella is the way to go. So one thing that I do have that I didn't talk about is I actually have a 6x6 rag, so I do want to do a video on that later, but I want to compare different types of rags, and also you can diffuse differently with those. For instance, one of the ways you would typically use a rag is actually by using something like a full silk in front of the light first and then go through a rag. That way you get a really large and really diffuse source. But again, guys, that was a little comparison. I'm going to leave all the links down in the description below if you want to get any of these products. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.